Hello, hello, and welcome to the All In podcast with Nate Peo. Of course, I am your host, Nate Peo. My guest today is Trent Bray. Trent is the father of three amazing kids and married to his high school sweetheart. He's an automotive enthusiast and passionate about entrepreneurship. He started his first business at the age of 14 by reverse engineering websites and designing websites for companies. There's many failures and mindsets. He's learned the way of perseverance and personal development and currently focused on entrepreneurship brand Hustle Energy, as well as his podcast Hustle Today. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, Nate. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I usually like to get the show started with a quick icebreaker and to get your take on the word luck. What does luck mean to you? Do you think people are lucky?
I think luck is being in the right place at the right time, but you have to be prepared for it. So I think there is a certain amount of, the traditional idea of luck, but if you're not prepared to capitalize on it, then it's a wasted opportunity. So I think that there is some amount of luck. However, the ones that are prepared for it are the ones that are going to be the ones that are able to capitalize on that opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. There's always like circumstances happening to us all day long, but you have to be prepared. You have to be aware of where the opportunity in those circumstances is and not just
Mhm.
like let life happen to you, but have it happen for you. So awesome
Absolutely.
stuff. So you've been an entrepreneur, or at least I don't know if you consider being a young teenager an entrepreneur, but you've had an entrepreneur's mindset for a long time. What kind of got you going in that path versus, another? Because the entrepreneurship journey is always it looks exciting. It's like the rock star of the day, but it's hard work and sometimes not quite as rewarding.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. You know, it does take a lot of work, but I did grow up with entrepreneurial parents. Both of them were entrepreneurs. So I got to see some of the work that was involved, but also some of the rewards that were involved. Um, and along those lines, I actually my first business experiences, I was selling baseball cards at like age 6 at the local park, just because I had duplicates and it's like I want more, so I've got to feed the addiction and ended up selling the duplicates to go get more. But really, I just saw that I could have the freedom to do what I wanted and create my own life through my parents and other mentors at a young age, and so I pursued that. I honestly never thought I would have a traditional educational experience, and I didn't end up graduating college, um, just because I knew that there was power in entrepreneurship. And to be honest with you, I underestimated the amount of work because I'm the youngest in my family, so my parents were at their most successful when I was going through this time of doing web design for um, friends, family, and other companies. And so I was like, okay, I've got this. And you know what? I will realize that my mindset wasn't strong enough to persevere through that. And so I lost some of that drive, and I ended up having to work a number of odd jobs, retail, car sales. You think of it, I probably tried it over the years, and it wasn't until later in life that I realized the amount of work it truly does take. But I still feel that it's worth it to have that freedom, especially with kids now, where I can show up to a dance recital, I can show up to a sporting event or something, so I can be there for my kids, but I can also create the life that I want.
Yeah. I think a lot of people that are entrepreneurs, like you you see people do it and you're like, hey, I want to go do that, right? and
Mhm.
and there's a lot of data that shows, most businesses fail, but you have to get back up and pick up the pieces. And I think a lot of times people think, oh, that won't happen to me, I'll be that person that doesn't fail. But failing is important, because if everything I used to work for this company that you learn more. We always say you learn more on the jobs that went bad than the jobs that went good. When the jobs went good, it was a lot of just like hey, the circumstances worked in your favor. You didn't have to like really dig deep to solve problems, because it just like you could cover up some problems because the projects were going so good. But when you're
Right.
on bad projects, man, you had to get resourceful. You had to figure out ways to solve things and turn it around that you wouldn't have to. So all the stuff you really learned was on like the bad jobs. And it's the same thing with starting these businesses. Like sometimes you think you're like, oh, I started a business and I failed. It doesn't mean you're done living, right? It just
Right.
means like, hey, you had a learning experience that you're going to take that lesson for your next one. We talked a little bit about luck at the beginning of being prepared. And I think those lessons give you that preparation for those next opportunities, because there's so many things that like on my journey in entrepreneurship, I had businesses that failed, and then this go around this time, I've learned those lessons, but it's starting to see how things of like, oh, you weren't even thinking about this the last time you did it, and like you start seeing all the problems you made early on, not just the mistakes that happened later down the road, but the first mistakes you were making that you didn't know were mistakes the way you're starting out. So
Absolutely.
how did you know, like, your website company, it started, it stopped, you started doing jobs. Did you always have that itch at the back of your mind, like, hey, I want to go out and try something else? And where did you go to start scratching that itch?
Yeah, absolutely. I always had that itch. So I did the web design, and then I ended up doing vending machines. Through high school, I did wholesale automotive parts. And then, from there, it was a bunch of random things, um, a little bit of photography, some video production. And, I was always working on something, even if I had to do something else to pay the bills. I was always working on something. I always had some grand idea, some way to build an empire. And, um, again, like I said, I really underestimated the amount of work that would take, like with this current company I'm working on, to get one product to market. It took 7 years of having the idea and 3 years of actual hard work to get one product out. And this is just the beginning. Like it's going to take a lot more to build it out to where I want it to be. And uh, I'm I'm fortunate to have learned that. I wish I would have learned it earlier, obviously, but um, it is a lesson that I am grateful that I did learn, that I do have to persevere and keep it up even longer than I expected it would take initially.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, and the business you're talking about is Hustle Energy.
Hmm.
And let's talk a little bit about what is Hustle Energy, and why did you decide that this is a business that you needed to start, and why did you think, you're the one that was called to do it, and why now?
Yeah,
Or I guess why
absolutely.
7 years ago when you started it? But
Yeah, so like I said, previously, I've always had that, side hustle going, or something that I wanted to do. Um, it's been an opportunity for me to realize again. I know I sound like a broken record here, but the amount of work that it would take. So I would go to my 9 to 5. I'd come home. I'd want to work on whatever the project was that I was working on at the time. But, at the end of the day, you've got family obligations, social obligations, community obligations, wherever the case may be. And then I have to go out and hustle some more to work on this side project. And I always found myself lacking the focus, lacking the energy that I needed. And I thought, why is there not more of a entrepreneurial minded focus or energy product for that type of person that's trying to escape their 9 to 5? And there's lots of great products for people who are at the upper echelon, that they are, they're extreme high performers. They typically are more expensive. And so it's like, all right, there's got to be some room here. And 7 years ago, there really wasn't much on the market. Some things have come to the market in the meantime, but it was something that was always kind of sticking in the back of my head of how can I help myself and in turn help others to have that focus that they need to work on that side hustle to get out of this situation that they're just not happy in.
Hmm. So can you talk a little bit about what Hustle Energy is and why it's different than maybe some of the other products out there that the people are probably thinking they're probably thinking of the hyper energy drinks, the stuff that
Right.
gets you amped up, but talk about why that it's a little bit different.
Yeah, so it does have a lot of focus ingredients. It does have a mild energy boost to it, but it doesn't use caffeine. It is a powdered drink mix, which is kind of unique to the market, just a different vehicle of delivery. And so um, it's something that I worked really hard on. I didn't want anything off the shelf. You know, I could white label a supplement brand and have it up tomorrow, but this was something that I wanted to have something you could drink every single day, isn't an acquired taste like so many other energy drinks are, and something that's more focus oriented rather than just an energy spike followed by a crash.
Hmm. And I think that's so important too when you're out there hustling. Like, you got young kids and,
Mm-hmm.
your day starts early, right? And then
Yep.
you got a job you go to, and then you come home and your kids need some tension, and you have family time and you have dinner, and then you got to put the kids to bed. And if you're like me, by the time the kids are going to bed, like I'm ready for bed before the kids are going to bed.
Yep.
And then to go and say, hey, I'm going to go work on something, right? And I got to get I got to get my mind ready to do it. So I'm gonna chug a bang, or I'm gonna chug something like a monster. Like all of a sudden, okay, now I'm gonna go work 2 or 3 hours tonight from like maybe 10 to 2 in the morning, and
Mm-hmm.
and then I got to get up at 6. Like but I just drink 150 milligrams of caffeine, so now I can't sleep, and now my
Right.
day, and so like there's this repetitive thing of like, okay, it's not sustainable because you can't turn it on, turn it off, and then you just like reinforcing. So like, oh, now I got to get up in the morning, I got to add this to it. So the idea of the focus thing is pretty cool, and there's a little bit of talk of nootropics and getting into flow state. And I think this product helps you do that. And by flow state, I mean it just is like you're in the zone, you're kind of staring at the task at hand, you're not getting distracted, and you're able to like work really, really efficiently on stuff, and your mind is in the right spot. And then when you're done, it's off, and you can go to bed, get a good night's sleep, and not wake up all jittery, or not be able to not fall asleep, or constantly have to feed that thing. So I think that there's definitely a market for this product, and it's very important too for people that have to avoid that energy roller coaster from energy
Right.
drinks.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
those things can, I mean, they're addictive, and I mean, caffeine is, shown to be addictive, but not only that, they're addictive in that you get that extreme energy, and as soon as you hit that crash, you just want to take another one so you can get back to that extreme energy level.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So a lot of times when we're starting off an idea, um, where it ends up isn't exactly where we had in mind. There's a lot of journey that changes course, and we a lot of times I tell people, hey, just go get started, right? Don't figure out getting it perfect, because wherever you think it's going to go the day you start, it's not going to end up there. It's going to end up somewhere different. So why try to get something that's not going to be the end result perfect before you start, because it's going to pivot off. So where has your journey kind of taken you from your initial idea to what you've discovered along the way and where you're at now?
Yeah, so I spent probably a year just trying to get a gummy produced, so like a gummy bear. That was actually the original idea for this product. Just honestly, I was looking for a different vehicle of delivery. Capsules are, another capsule out there is just kind of white noise. And so I didn't want to have it in capsule form. It would have been a lot easier to do that. But I was committed to doing something a little bit different while still providing the value that I wanted. And this this gummy production just was a nightmare for me. It again helped me learn to trust the process, because I was ready to quit multiple times just because it was like banging my head against the wall. And then also at one point, I toyed around with the idea of um, adding caffeine into it, just a real small dosage amount, like 30 milligrams, just to help amplify that focus. And it's amazing the power of social media nowadays, because I mean, basically everything was designed through the help and the input of people that are on my social media following. There was very strong resistance against caffeine, and I totally understand that. And it was just more of a moment of weakness of it's just like, what can I do to make this work? And the gummy manufacturer, they had an off-the-shelf product that had caffeine in it rather, and so it would have been just an easy thing where I can just put it out there and get this going. And then I realized again, that's not what I set out to do. And so it's been definitely a journey. And even once I decided to go with this powder drink mix, it was still a 2-year process of tweaking ingredients, tweaking flavor, going into production 4 times, and each time having something go wrong, or we have to go back to the drawing board, and finally the 5th time of production stuck.
It's a lot of ups and downs for sure, and to stick with it is tough, and to stick to your guns is tough. So, I always ask people, what does it mean to be all in on an idea or an outcome? And I think your answer will kind of give you some insight of you being all in with sticking to your idea and figuring out a way to deliver really what you wanted to, and not taking like I want to call it a shortcut, but maybe an easier path than where the real vision was for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think my idea of going all in is never looking back. I mean, I've realized where I want to be, and I realize where that vision is, and I don't ever want to go away from that. So if I look back at all the things that I could have done differently or should have done differently, that's not going to help me get to where I want to be. Obviously, you want to take from those experiences and learn from them, but it's staying focused on what your goal is and never taking your eyes off of that goal.
Yeah, definitely got to keep plugging away. So what would you recommend to a young entrepreneur, or a first-time entrepreneur with sticking to it and not giving up on the goals? Like what would you tell them when the times get tough, what they should be thinking about?
Yeah, so that was part of my journey is I'd never really had a strong why. So I went through a lot of ideas and businesses that were just basically cash grabs. It's like, how can I, provide for my family? And that is important, but I was focused on the cash aspect. I wasn't focused on the family aspect, which is what I should have been focused on the whole time. Because why am I doing this? It's to provide for my family, and to, you know, with hustle focused energy, it's to create an impact on the world through entrepreneurship. Because in a typical 9-to-5 job, you can't create as large of an impact as you can with entrepreneurship. Obviously, there are exceptions to that rule, but in general, that is the case. And I want to be able to impact the world, and that's bigger than money. Somebody comes and offers me a large sum of money for this company, I don't want to take it, because I'm committed to that why, to that goal, to what I can accomplish with that. And that's what gets you through the hard times, because there will be hard times no matter what business you're in, no matter the experience. There are going to be hard times, and looking back and relying on that why is what's going to help push you through those hard times, because you won't have the motivation, you won't have the drive all the time. But when the why is more important than, just getting money, it's going to help propel you even in those harder times.
Yeah, I think what you touched on was the goals and the vision of why you're doing it, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
your vision or your goal is like, I want money or I want a thing, like you're
Right.
going to get there. You may get there, you may not, but let's say you do get there. You're just going to look for the next thing. It's not going to give you the fulfillment, and it's
Right.
maybe not going to take you down the right path. So I always tell people, instead of setting a goal, set a vision. Like, you know, if I want a big house, well, why do you want a big house? Well, I want to be able to have my family over and have Thanksgiving dinner at the house with everybody in one place, and they're all in one room. And what are you doing in that room? We're cooking, we're telling jokes, we're laughing, where the kids are playing. There's football on the TV, and like, oh, you're creating this experience. And so if
Right.
you just said, I want a big house, like you might get the big house, but it might not give you the fulfillment. But if your vision is bringing the family all together, like then your why becomes stronger, and how you achieve that is can be achieved in different aspects too. So when you're looking to do entrepreneurship and you're looking to, impact the world, your vision is bigger than just like, hey, how can I make some quick cash and you know make some next moves. So awesome
Right.
answer. Who is Hustle Energy for? Can you describe who your ideal customer user is?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, the young entrepreneur, those are typically the people I'm trying to get in front of. They are ones that have the aspirations to become an entrepreneur. They have a side hustle already, and they are trying to replace that side hustle with, or replace their main income with their side hustle or this business idea that they are after, because that's where I've been. That's what I can relate to, and that's who I can help.
Awesome stuff. So if anybody wants to get connected to you, find Hustle Energy, where should they go to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so in terms of social media, I'm most active on Instagram. It's instagram.com/hustle.energy. And then also the website is hustle.energy, or hustletheday.com.
Awesome stuff. So all those links will be listed in the show notes, so you can easily reach out and connect with Trent. And if you do, I encourage you to say hello. Tell him you found him on the All In podcast with Nate Pale. And always, support what they're up to. And if you're a young entrepreneur, or you're just an entrepreneur and you're looking to add a little edge to your business, check out Hustle Energy and see if it's for you. So thanks, Trent, for coming on the show. I had a great time chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you, Nate. I really appreciate the opportunity.